why does making excuses, or why could making excuses be destroying your life? So, when we look at an excuse, what is an excuse, right? An excuse is a reason that we give when we don't take an action. So, for example, let's say I don't go to the gym today, or let's say I don't record today, right? I would give a reason such as I've got cooking to do. Like today I have a prep kitchen where I make all of the food for the week, so that helps me to collapse time taken to make stuff, and I just don't have to worry about food for the rest of the week, right? So that's good. And so it's a good excuse, right? And sometimes we get really good at making really good excuses, and sometimes we forget that the better the excuses we make, the more embedded we are in the amnesia that we have created that is actually destroying our lives. And so when I say that, the dangerous areas of making excuses is when you make an excuse towards a thing that matters to you. So, for example, making a YouTube video matters to me because I love to give information to people. I love to share my journey of transformation, and I love to support the people who are looking to transform themselves and looking to be better. Like my YouTube channel is called It's About Becoming, and you fill in the gaps. Like it's about becoming better, or it's about becoming wiser, or it's about becoming smarter. And on this journey of becoming, we are riddled with challenges. And so, for example, a challenge for me posting today is the fact that, as I've made this video, my girlfriend's been calling me saying, hey, where are you? We need to make some stuff. And to be honest, I'm on my way. I'm literally going to Asda after I've made this video. But it's a busy day today. And, all of the things I have to do are contributing factors, and they're not determining factors. And the difference between a contributing factor and a determining factor is a contributing factor is outside of you, whereas a determining factor is from within. So if we go back to the analogy of the excuses we make, right? So let's say you didn't show up to a wedding because there was traffic on the road. These are contributing factors, right? These are not determining factors. They don't determine whether you show up or not. What determines whether you show up or not? The only answer is always going to be you. Like in the Bible, in the Garden of Eden, Adam blamed God, and then he blamed Eve for him having the fruit. You gave me this woman, right? So this is where contributing factors come from. But anyways, that aside, so we need to be responsible, because when we become responsible, we have the power to control our lives. We have the power to chase our dreams. We have the power to transform. We have the power to change, and we have the power to be better. And that's what It's About Becoming is about. It's about becoming better. But to become better, we need to take responsibility. We can't outsource and say, oh, I'm not where I want to be because of him or her or anybody, right? And often we find ourselves giving ourselves really, really good reasons, really, really good excuses. But the time where the only time where I believe an excuse is okay is if you're giving an excuse to something that doesn't matter to you. For example, someone wanted to call me the other day. He said, are you free to chat? But the reality is, I had so much work to do. And the reality is, again, yes, I was making an excuse, but this was a conversation that wasn't going to move the needle force for me, and it wasn't going to move the needle force for him either. So it was just I don't like to just chit chat. I don't. That's just me. And maybe you could be different, but I gave an excuse because it didn't matter to me. The outcome wasn't important. So what I am saying is, when it comes to making excuses for things that matter to you, stop thinking of a good excuse. It doesn't the only outcome is that you never made the action. You never did the thing. That's the only outcome. And it doesn't benefit you to think that an excuse is okay. it doesn't really benefit you, because when you think about it, when we play this situation out, right? So when we consistently play out your really good excuses, so for example, let's say you make a commitment to go to the gym, or you make a commitment to spend 10 minutes on the treadmill each morning, but you're making an excuse saying, oh, I have to take the kids to school, or I have to do this, I have to do that, I need to help my husband with this activity, therefore I can't spend 10 minutes in a day to go to the gym. It sounds petty, but people do it. You know, I was coaching someone the other day who was struggling with like getting on a treadmill that's literally inside your house for 10 minutes. It sounds so bizarre, but this is the way many of us are living our lives, because we're so busy and everybody is busy. So it's not really a reason, it's just an excuse. Like, everybody is busy. So therefore, you know, I'm busy too. I don't have time for the treadmill. I've got kids, I've got this, I've got that. But it doesn't take more than a Google search for a few seconds to find people who are out there who already have, you know, 5 kids, great shape, husbands in great shape. So like what's the excuse then? And so when we come back to this, right? People have difficult lives but still make it. So what is the difference? What's the difference? And the difference is responsibility and creation. What do I mean by responsibility and creation? So you take responsibility for creating the time and space that it requires for you to show up in the gym. You take responsibility and ownership, because when you take responsibility, you have power. And if you have power, you can control. And if you can control, you can move and become what you are envisaging to become, right? So like, these excuses for the things that matter to you. Oh, I don't have time for a coach. Oh, I don't have time to go to the gym. Oh, I don't have time to sleep. Oh, I don't have time for this. I don't have time for that. Like, these are the things, like, if they matter to you, if you play out that situation of repetitive action on things that repetitive, like, abstinence on action, that things that matter to you, you're not going to see any transformation in those areas, and you're going to look at your life and think you've wasted so much time, and feel like you would feel, God forbid, but you would feel like a failure. And so to prevent that feeling from ever being a thing, we need to take one thing, and that's responsibility. And the journey of transformation requires us to take responsibility from the start. And I promise you, it's not going to be easy. Like, it hasn't been easy for me so far, but I've been consistent. And the most important thing is, when you're consistent, things can grow. But if you're consistent in your excuses will grow. And that's where the danger is. And so I implore you today to review your excuses to the things that matter to you, to the things that you care about, and create a plan of action instead of a plan of an excuse. Well, I hope this blesses you. That was really intense. Needed to get that off my chest. But yeah, so like, I hope you all have a wonderful, amazing, and beautiful and awesome day. And if you like what I'm putting out, please give me a like, or please give me a comment in terms of what you think about excuses, and whether you think excuses help us or harm us in the long run. And yeah, I'll see you in the next video. Cheers. Peace out.